What's up guys, Valence Ring here, and I wanted to bring you a special edition, a special video related to special operations, as a matter of fact. So there's this little trick that I've been utilizing, and if you're familiar or not, special operations, this is number 2, is one of the events that Puzzles and Survival hosts, and basically you get to attack this monster. Now, I don't know if you know much about it, but basically the monsters are completely invulnerable. You can't kill them, but they do take damage, and what you want to do is get the highest damage possible. As you can see up here, I'm currently have 185,023. I haven't completed all my challenge attempts. You start off with 10, and then you get rewarded based upon how much damage you do. As you see, it starts off pretty low. You only have to do 150 points damage to clear phase 1, and then all the way up to phase 10 is 30,000. Now, each of these are ranked slightly different depending upon the difficulty. As you can see, the deployable types indicates the types of heroes that you can deploy in this battle, and of course you have to have star level not lower than 3, which basically means your 2-star heroes do not qualify for this event. There is a quick intro, and I do recommend you reading it. Go ahead and go over it. It's pretty simple and pretty straightforward. It is the match 3 game, but I wanted to show you a little trick, especially on this day when the deployable types are green, purple, and red. In this case, when you go into here, as you can see, the current rank, I'm currently ranked 5, okay? So this is something that works well for me. I'm not as high up as a lot of these guys in might or playtime or abilities per se, but I do happen to have a very special hero that is great for this event. And this is kind of the trick, and that is Leah. So let's talk about Leah really quick. Her hero skills, and these are the skills that she's going to actually utilize in the special operations battle. So this is what she does when her skill goes off. So as you can see, her first skill is Dark Shield, and this enters a defensive stance for 4 rounds. That reduces damage to 1, and that's reflected damage is excluded, but it grants immunities to debuffs and rage gaining. So she can't be debuffed, she only takes 1 damage, and she does not gain rage, and that's for 4 rounds. So this, I think, is a hero designed almost strictly for special operations. So every time they come out with a new hero, I think they like to put out heroes that are good for 1 utility purpose or 2 or 3, but realistically they're going to do very well in one thing, and that's where they're going to excel at. So this happens to be a very critical skill, this Dark Shield, where she doesn't take damage for 4 rounds. She only takes 1 damage, but that's not going to kill her at all. And then as you level her up, you unlock these other skills, and basically they all happen at the same time when her skill goes off, or they're passive. But for instance, upon death deals 200% damage to all foes. That's passive, but when she dies, she is going to do 200% damage to all foes. And then, of course, enhanced perception, enhanced active skill, enters defensive stance that increases crit rate by 20% for 4 rounds. So what that means is that for 4 rounds, when she's in that defensive stance, her critical rate is going to go up. And I'll show you how that actually makes sense later. But all of these skills activate when her Dark Shield activates, okay? She gets the enhanced power, so her attack goes up by 115%, and of course her crit rate goes up by 20%, so she becomes a massive damage dealer in the match 3 game. So that's how you really know how the hero skills break down. And then of course, once I get her up to 6 star, then it'll increase her block rate by 30%, and that's a passive skill. So that's great. So really, I wanted to go down and show you how I utilize her specifically on this day, Special Operations 2, with the deployable types of green, purple, and red. So I'm going to go ahead and challenge. Now, as you notice, I do happen to have a lot of heroes, and most of them are leveled up. If you don't have these yet, it's understandable. If you do have Leah, even if she's 0 or plus 0, she isn't leveled up too high, you do want to get her up as high as you can, because once she can do her skill and survive long enough to do her skill, you'll see that it makes a huge difference. I do have a lot of strong red type heroes, so that is going to be very helpful for me, but I want to go ahead and show you how this works. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and select my 5 strongest all red heroes, and there's a good reason for this. The reason I want all red is because every red that you have in your lineup increases the damage of each red tile. So instead of doing, let's say, 200 damage for one, if I have 5, it might do 1,000 damage or more. So this is really critical. You're basically specializing in your rash style heroes to boost the damage of only red tiles. There is a drawback to doing this. Normally you're going to get less red tiles than usual in this lineup, and I think they do that to kind of balance it out. Even though the tiles I believe are random, I do think that they kind of know where you're strong at and can kind of dial it back. So you're not going to get as many red, but they're going to be 5 times as effective. And you'll see here as I go how much more powerful this trick is. So as you can see, I'm going to use my red tiles predominantly, and I want cascades. I want to get rid of as many tiles as possible for special operations. These guys aren't really strong enough to kill my heroes at earlier levels. Your heroes will be able to take enough damage to die, so you want to be careful with that. But as you see, I got a nice cascade, and just doing it. Look at that damage that's being done when I hit with the red. It's ridiculous. Try for combos. Look at that, 2,000 for each of those red tiles. Now here's the trick. Leah's skill, her rage fills really quick. Do not use her skill. For 4 rounds, she will not gain any rage, I think it's called. So she won't be able to use her skill only 1 time per round. So we want to save that till the end. I'm going to go ahead and try and get as many of these tiles off as possible, and hopefully get as many red tiles on the screen as possible. I want all my heroes to be able to utilize their skill, if at all possible. Let's go ahead and try and get down as much as we can. Nice cascades. Okay, good. So now Requiem is very strong, and Phoenix, of course, does massive damage and damage over time, so it's nice to get her to go off as soon as you can. And then, of course, what we're waiting for is all these, if you can see, all these bars up here are grayed out, and the damage, their hit, that's their skill, is the gray. We don't want their skill to go off. So as soon as those bars turn from gray to blue is when we need to utilize Leah's skill. So I'm going to keep going here, and hopefully I get some more reds, because reds are what we really need. Okay, so again, make sure you're taking your time watching for those blue bars to show up. The other thing I wanted to mention, if you notice here, these 2 front characters both are green, and as you can see up here, green is weak against red. So every red tile is multiplied by 5, and it does 200% damage to green characters. If you line up 3 right down this middle row here, okay, it'll actually hit both characters. So basically you're doing 10 times the damage from 3 tiles, matching 3 in the middle. If you can get 3 reds in the middle. Huge damage for doing it that way. So now you can see they turn blue. So what I want to do is I want to use Leah's skill. This is going to protect her from death, because basically when their skills go off, it's instant death for almost all your heroes that aren't highly leveled up. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. And again, I'm trying to get those reds in the middle, but that was kind of good. I'm going to get 1, but as you see, she's only taken 1 damage. And everyone else is still taking damage from Phoenix. You see that damage she did? 3,000 for each of those tiles, over 3,000. She's just doing tons and tons of damage. And if I'm lucky, maybe I get 4 rounds basically to kind of try and get some more attacks in. But every point of damage is going to be critical for boosting that rank operations, the rank of it as high as possible. So if I'm lucky here, maybe I'll get another red drop. I did not, and of course 4 rounds is up, she died. But as you can see, I didn't have that great of a round. I didn't have that many cascades. I didn't have that many red tiles, and I still did 89,000 damage. So of course, you know, I just keep trying it, the exact same lineup. Normally I would say, you know, switch up your lineup, see how things work. In this case, if you have Leah, if you have 5 strong red heroes, utilize this lineup. Save Leah's skill for the very end. As you can see, I got a lot of red tiles here. Hopefully this goes really well. But save her skill for the very end, and then use it, and you'll do max damage. You may or may not rank, but you'll do max damage, and that's what you want. And if you can, focus on getting these grenades here, which blow up the entire screen, because as you can see, I dropped a lot more reds on the screen. Now I just got to get them matched up, and hopefully I can do lots and lots of damage. I already had one good run, and chances are you don't normally get two good runs. You're lucky if you get one really good run, and that's how I put up those massive points. But because Leah's rage fills so fast, you're almost, not always, guaranteed to get her skill. See, they're already blue. I'm going to have to use her skill, and I'm not going to end up doing as well this time. But that's okay. You do the best that you can and hope for the best. But now watch this damage when I do 3 down the middle. You'll see how much damage I do. Bam, bam. So much damage. It's so worth it to get it in the middle if you get lucky enough to do that. Obviously, some of this, there is some luck involved. The only skill really is kind of trying to pick the best tiles that you have, and hope for large cascades. Just hope for lots and lots of tiles to drop, and hopefully get those high combos, because as the combos goes up, so does the damage. So that's everything, guys. I just really wanted to show you that. Definitely use Leah when you can in special operations. Save her skill for the very last. Even if you know you are using, like, let's say you have a ton of green heroes that are really strong and you want to try that out, that's fine. I would still put Leah in if you have her. Save her for last. Let her, talent, or her talent be the last thing you do, and then you'll get 4 rounds to increase your damage dealt. Alright, guys, good luck, and thanks for watching. Give the video a big thumbs up if it helped, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this.